Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, and this is the next video wherein we are going to discuss about the overall sentiment of the market, that how exactly the market has performed and what we can expect in this particular week and what exactly the scenario was today. So today is the 9th of June, and I would say the market was quite confusing in today because most of the people must have been expecting, as per the overall sentiment that has been going on, that the market is going to show some kind of a selling, and basis on that we can expect some new lows in this particular week. But that did not really happen. It worked in a complete opposite direction. Market made a new high, just made a rally of like 200 points in a single day, because you can see that as per the overall global scenario, it was pretty much evident that the market is going to open up with some sort of a gap down, as a Nasdaq and SGX Nifty was 0.40 negative, and it was having the low. It had the closing of 16,283, and basis on that, market opened at the price of 16,263. As you can see that that's pretty much evident now that people are not interested in the lower levels of the market. It's been very much interested above the level of 16,400. As soon as we see this kind of a level, 16,300 or 350, or just like as just below the level of 300, we see the immediate buying coming in. So this seems out to be like this is a green zone wherein we expect some sort of a buying to happen. This particular zone wherein we see that the buying gets started. So seems out to be like, let's try to understand first of all from the line chart that what exactly is going on, what exactly the overall trend that has been going on in the market. So it's, you can see that the price action happening around this particular in this way. So we see this kind of a downward movement, then there is a little bit of reversal, then again it crossed this particular level. So we see the downside movement once again. So the basis on that, we see this kind of a position wherein yesterday it happened. We see this kind of a selling happen, but there was a quick reversal, and basis on that it crossed this particular swing and made a low of this at this particular point. So seems out to be like this particular point was something which was being tested today, and basis on that we see the price action happening. It was not a good price action, I would say, that happened today, but yes, seems out to be like swings were getting crossed, and basis on that we were able to see the buying coming in. So if the people who would have properly made their position with the proper stop loss must have definitely captured some good points and have definitely made some good profits. But on the other hand, market was quite slow. It was only making small candles. As you can see that from the 5-minute chart, the candle size was very slow, and people at the zone of 16,400 must have been anticipating that the selling is gonna come, but that happened only for like one time, when the market made a high of around 16,412, and then we saw market taking the reversal from 50 moving averages. Let me show. It was, I believe, the average of, let me just take a look. So what, I don't know why it's not working, so let's try to, okay, so let me just first of all make this particular, okay, so it was taking the reversal from this particular point. 16,400 level was something which was not sustained initially, and the selling came in. Let me first of all tell you how exactly the market performed. So market opened at the price of 16,263, and it just made a low of around 16,243, and in the 5-minute candle, as you can see that the buying immediately came in, and basis on that we saw that the market started moving in the upside direction. So this particular zone wherein we saw the price action yesterday happening, so this particular point was something which was a little bit important for today's market. If the most of the people must have been expecting, because this was the point wherein we saw this particular support happening. There was a reversal, and market started to go down from this particular point. So this particular level was something which was important, somewhere around the level of 16,330 and 320. If the market would have crossed that level, and market actually crossed this particular level by just taking a small resistance from this point, then came down a little bit, and basis on that it started moving on the upper side. So as soon as this particular swing was crossed, market started moving in the upside direction towards a level of 16,380, and basis on that, over here as you can see that there was a complete M pattern that was formed over here around 11 o'clock. So when this particular swing was made, it was quite an evident that this was a clear M pattern, and basis on that, market started to move in the downward direction, because we saw both of the things happening at the same time. Because as it today was the expiry, and both calls and put OI was around the same level. It was not getting changed. It was around the same level. So that's the reason the market was quite slow. It was not making some big candles in some particular points. It was just making small candles, and that was the reason it was quite hard to say the market gonna go for the selling or for the buying. So this M pattern was made, and basis on that, it was expected, and that M pattern was made around the level of 16,380. As you can see that 392 was something which was also tested. So basis on that, people must have been expecting that 16,400 is definitely going to act as a good resistance as of now in the today's market as well, and we can expect some selling to happen. But that did not really happen. When market made the M pattern, it just took the support from this particular level. That was the low of yesterday. As you can see that here, the closing of yesterday. So around this level only, market took some support, and basis on that, we saw some consolidation to happen around the level of 16,350, and around this level as well, I made my straddle, as there was a little bit of consolidation that was going on. When market started to moving in the upside direction, it just crossed this particular level. As you can see that there was a clear price action that was happening over here. So market moved in the upside direction, then took the support, then started so then again started to go in the upside direction. Let me just first of all change the color over here. So yes, market was going over here, then yes, in this particular way, and then yes. So this was the overall movement, as you can see over here. So it was pretty much evident that market was going in the upside direction, took the support from this particular point of 16,350, wherein I was also making my straddle. But then market started moving in the upside direction, and it made the high of 16,000, somewhere around the level of 16,415 and 16. So that's the reason my straddle did not really work very well. I was expecting the selling to happen, but my straddle, I was also in the break evens. But what really happened was that when market made this particular high, my straddle, just net to net was on the zero side. So then all of a sudden the selling started to happen. There were red candles that were going on, and basis on that, market came back to the same level of 16,350, and around that particular level, we saw that the market taking the support. So let me just first of all clear this particular thing. Okay. So market actually took the support around the level of 16,350, and then again started going on the upside direction. So what really happened was that in the second half, as you can see over here, that it was easily able to cross all the swings. So first of all, it crossed the level of 16,380, wherein it took the resistance before, and we saw this particular M pattern, and it crossed this particular point and then crossed the level of 16,400. So as soon as it crossed the level of 16,400, people must have been expecting that there is going to be a double top which is going to be created around this particular level, and we can expect the selling to happen. But that was quite of the last 1 hour of the market, though we had seen this kind of a movement wherein we see the selling to happen around 3 o'clock, 3:15, but that did not really happen today because market was quite sluggish. It was only making the small candles. As you can see the size of these candles, so it was pretty much hard to say that the buying is going to happen. But market slowly started moving on the upside direction, crossed the level of 16,400, then crossed the day's high, and basis on that we saw the closing around the level of that was somewhere around the level of 16,800, and the last closing that really happened was at 16,478, wherein it closed the market. So it seems out to be like we in total net to net we can say that the rally was of 200 points. We had seen a little bit of price action, but there were so many resistances. First of all, the level of 16,350, 380, 16,400, all these are the good resistances, and we had seen market respecting all these points in the past. And overall, net to net, if we have to say that the selling sentiment is still there in the market, but market actually was in the opposite direction, and we did not see market taking resistances in a harder way in any particular point, and slowly and steadily it just crossing all the points and had made a high of 16,492. So seems out to be like that people are interested in this particular level of 16,400, and the buying side is still there. People are ready to buy, and people are not in a mood of looking at the market in the downside direction. As soon as we see the level of 16,300 being crossed on the downside, people are interested in the buying, and they do not want the market to be in that level as of now. So yes, that's really good to say, because we can see some sort of a bullish nature in the market as the week is going to come to an end. And yes, if the buying is coming, then it is quite good for the market. But yes, even if we have to say that 16,500 is definitely going to act as a good resistance as of now. So what we can expect from the market for tomorrow? So as we have seen the closing on the bullish side, so from the level of opening, it is said that it is quite evident that there is a net to net around 1%, more than 1% of the movement. We have seen more than 200 points rally which is there in the market. So it seems out to be like there will be a gap up for tomorrow, and maybe there's going to be a flat opening. The downside, if we'll have to say that we have to predict that the market is going to open up with a gap down, I won't be saying that it's going to happen, because overall buying side was strong and market has closed on the green side. So this is quite evident the market is going to open with some sort of a gap up. So what we can expect is that the market is going to open up above the level of 16,500. So if that's going to happen, we can see that the market is going to take the support from this level only. It's going to take the support from this level of 16,500. And basis on that, we can see that it's going to move on the upper side. And if there is going to be a price action, let's try to take a look on the market on the line chart. Okay, so market has closed around this particular point. Let's try to understand what can happen. So this point is definitely going to act as a resistance as of now. As per the previous movement of the market, we can see that the 16,500 is going to act as a resistance and basis support. And from the upper side, we can see the 16,600 is also a good resistance. So market is going to move in such a way wherein we can, let's try to understand what can be. Okay, so if the market is going to open around this particular level, then we can see that if it's going to make some sort of a price action and basis on that it's moving on the upper side, then it's good, and it's quite a healthy sign of the market that the buying has come, and basis on that we can expect the new highs in the market. And if there's going to be a flat opening, then I believe that again it's gonna just take the resistance from this particular point. And if we see that basis on that it's moving on the downside with the price action, then we can say that selling is still there in the market. And if there is going to be a gap down, then we can expect the market to move around the level of consolidation. We can expect the market's movement around this particular zone. So that is something which we can expect from the market. So let's try to understand what happened on the FI side, if there is data available. So seems out to be like the data is not still there for the 9th of June. And let's try to understand what really happened on the sector wise. So basically seems out to be like it was only the metal sector which was on the red side, which was negative. On the other hand, energy, auto and reality, IT section, all were in green, had given the positive side of movement, and that's the reason Nifty was strong. And also Nifty was strong for today because of Reliance as well. Reliance shares, Reliance basically carries the highest weightage in Nifty, and that's the reason the Nifty was strong, because it was giving the closing on the greener side. And it was pretty much evident that the rally of 200 points is not a small thing, and definitely the buying is still there. So seems to be like the people are not ready to go for the lower levels of the market, and the market is gonna definitely show some higher side of the movement as of now. And that's the reason the market was really strong for today. Alright, so next thing I want to explain is my trade, what exactly I did in my trade. I made a very big mistake today because I was expecting the selling to happen, because it was quite of, the overall sentiment was something still was looking on the selling side. So I was thinking that the selling is going to happen once again around the level of 16,400, but that did not really happen. As we can see, the market was easily crossing all the levels, and it was easily able to cross the level of today's high as well. So I was expecting that the strangle is going to work in the today's market. So what I did is that I shorted the level of 16,400 as well as the level of 16,450. But as soon as the market started to go on the upper side, so both of the stop losses got triggered, and basis on that I had to exit my position. And from the bottom side, I was shorting the level of 16,250. That was the initial level that I shorted. Then I switched to the level of 16,300, and then I shorted the level of 16,350. So the P's were working nice. I mean, I was able to capture the points from there, but basis upon the call side that I had shorted, so I was expecting that the selling is gonna come at least for some points. So, but what really happened was that it was easily crossing all the levels on the upper side, and based on that, what I did is that I just shifted some, my stop losses points. So based on that, I was expecting that the selling is going to happen, and based on that, I will be able to at least capture some DK points. So that was the strangle that I shorted, 16,400 and 450. I had to book losses from these two positions. And also talking about the straddle that I mentioned about. So I made the straddle around this particular point, around 11:30, as there was some sort of a consolidation that was going on. So net to net, I had to exit from my position with no profit, no loss from this 16,350, because as soon as the market just crossed this particular swing, I had to exit my position because it started moving on the upper side. And I was pretty much thinking that the 16,400 is going to act as a resistance point, and maybe the selling is going to come. And but what really happened, as soon as it crossed the level of 16,400, I had to exit my position with no profit, no loss. And as soon as the market started going on the downside, it was definitely evident that it came back to the level of 16,350. The straddle was something which was actually giving me some really good points, but we cannot predict the market in that way if the position is coming back to its original position. So then when it came back to the level of 16,350, I entered into the strangle position. I shorted the level of 16,400 and 450. The P was working fine, but the C side was something which got triggered, which actually triggered the stop loss, and based on that I had to exit my position. So I exited my position with losses, but that's absolutely fine, and I just booked a small loss in my today's trade. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That was there in my trade, and I had learned so many good points. Actually got to learn some good points about the stop loss and also about the psychology. So that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you liked the analysis, and thanks for watching the video. Thank you for your time. See you next time.